This podcast is for anyone tired of sitting on the couch watching fucking Netflix. For anyone who wants to know how to break the 9-to-5 slave life. For anyone who wants to be better tomorrow than they are today. I want to help you learn how to break the cycle. This is your story, and you have to write it. Come on in. We're just getting started. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is the Getting Started podcast, and as always, I'm your host, Sean Bustard. Wanted to come to you all today with my Core Values Miniseries Part 7. Today, I'm going to be talking about my value of building your family of choice, or your tribe, or your village, or whatever you want to call it. You see, we're born into this world. We don't get to choose the family that we're born into. We're born to a mom and a dad. And I don't give a shit about this whole gender war bullshit going on in the mainstream media. It's all about you're born to a mom and a dad. That's just how it fucking is. Sometimes you're adopted. Sometimes you get put up for adoption. You don't get to choose that family either. They choose you. But either way, and sometimes that comes with two moms, two dads. It doesn't matter. Whatever. But anyways, the family you're born into, or the family you grow up with, is the family that will instill the values and beliefs that you get to start with. And they mean well by doing this, and they have good intentions, but these are not the values you have to keep forever. These are their values that they're instilling into you, their beliefs. And they really do have good intentions. They're not trying to mislead you. They're not trying to fuck you up in the head forever. They're teaching you what they know to be true. And whether that's the real deal or not, that's what they're doing. And while that's great, especially, some of you come from great standing moral families, but that's not always giving you the complete toolkit you need in life. And now, as we go through the years and we learn these values and these beliefs that we're taught, between the ages of, I think it's, birth and 7 years old, your mind is the most formative. So that's what you're going to hang on to for the majority of your life. That's going to be the strongest beliefs and values that you have going from the day you're born to the day you die. Unless you make the conscious effort to change that. And as you grow up, you carry these beliefs and values through your teenage years and into your adult life. Now, somewhere along in there, we start to discover who we are as a person. We discover ourself. Sometimes we shed some of the values and beliefs that we've been taught. Sometimes they don't make no sense anymore. And you see a lot of that, especially with, what everybody calls millennials, the kids that were born from I think it's 80 to 90 or some shit like that, 95, whatever. Because we grew up, our parents grew up in the age of, the 50s and the 60s and the 70s. Hell, for my daddy grew up in the 40s. And in a different country, for that matter. So they had that old school mentality, that old school of, work hard all the time. And that's great, it really is. But as most of you know, somewhere in the late 90s and the early 2000s, we had the internet revolution. And that's exactly what it was. It was a revolution that changed the entire world. And, here we are, it's 2020, and it's still changing the world because no one's completely figured out the internet yet. There's no end to the internet. It just keeps going and developing and getting better and getting more accurate and getting, sometimes less accurate. And it's become its own entity that can be used for tools of greatness. It can also be used for tools of destruction. But for us millennials, we're that transitional generation. We understand what it was like growing up with the values of the old school mentality. But as we got older, we started realizing that some of those values and some of those beliefs they don't stand true in today's age. So we had to kind of figure things out for ourselves, We were the last generation to go out and play outside and ride bikes and get, cuts and scrapes and break arms and all that fun shit we did as a kid. I remember riding bikes and jumping ramps with no helmet, and God only knows how the damn ramps held up. But we also were the first generation to have, you know, entertainment consoles like PlayStation and Xbox. You know, some of y'all out there listening, you probably remember the old school Ataris and the original Nintendos and Super Nintendos and the Sega. And, you know, for the special few of you that remember that small, brief little time period, there was a Dreamcast, which was pretty cool. But as we've grown up, we've had to learn what worked and what didn't. In discovering ourselves, we had to understand where our core values began to lie, where our beliefs started to really hold true at. And so we shed a lot of the values that we were instilled growing up with. And we began to develop our own. So we would use what fit, but a lot of it we left behind. And for a lot of people, you know, they get these initial core values and these initial beliefs and these limiting beliefs, and they're happy with that, or at least they pretend to be happy with that, and they settle and they become complacent, but they're happy with that. But then some realize that we're not playing with that full deck. We don't have the full toolkit that we need to succeed and become great. So what do? Do we just give up? Some of us do, yeah. Some people just give up and they live a miserable life and they try to make everybody around them miserable, and they don't understand why, and they don't want to take the time to realize and do this self-inspection that it's really the fact that they're miserable. And, you know, as the saying goes, misery loves company. Misery doesn't love successful, happy company. Miserable loves miserable fucking company. But for those of us that realize we're not playing with that full deck, for those of us that realize that there's more out there, that we need that little bit extra to kind of guide us, to, you know, make us realize what really is important, what do? Well, we go out and we start finding mentors. We find groups that fill the gaps that we need and want. And that's where you start building your family of choice, or your tribe, or your village, or whatever you want to call it. I like choosing to call it my family of choice because some of the people I've connected with, some of the mentors that I've, you know, picked up, these people are like family to me. They're like brothers and sisters. It took me a while to realize that. It took me a while to really understand it completely, and I'm still learning more and more every day. But I had to find mentors. I had to find people who were able to teach me what I needed to know in order to succeed and in order to achieve greatness. And that's why the family of choice is one of my core values, because I truly, truly believe that in order to achieve greatness, in order to do great things, in order to live the best life for yourself, you've got to have a family of choice that can help you through times that you don't understand, that can help you take the next step that you can't figure out where to put your foot at. You know, I've got probably some of the most awesome tribe members that I could have ever asked for. You know, I've got some, and the cool part about it is, your family of choice, you choose. Which means you're choosing to align yourself with these people's core values, which will in turn rub off on you. You know, I needed someone to, I didn't know it at the time, but I needed someone to help me change my mindset, to help me get past limiting beliefs, to get past self-sabotage tactics that were just holding me back. I didn't realize at the time, had no clue what the fuck was going on. All I knew was that I wasn't getting where I wanted to be, and I didn't know how to get there. I didn't know how to take that next. I didn't know what that next step even was. You know, I found a mentor that her thing is mindset. That is her number one thing, is mindset. Helping people get past limiting beliefs, to get past those self-sabotage tactics that keep them held and stuck in place. Her name's Tiffany Toombs. If you haven't connected with her, you need to go out and do that right now, especially if you feel like you're stuck and can't get ahead in life. She has opened my eyes up to an entirely new world of what can be achieved when you've got the right mindset. And my friend Caesar Espino, this dude came from nothing. I'm talking fucking studs and metal walls and a dirt fucking floor to this dude's flipping houses now and living his best life, and he's happy. He's completely fucking happy with his life now because he gets to do what he wants. And he wrote a fucking book about it called You Can Overcome Anything. In order to get to these certain places, I needed a brother that could show me how to be intensely intentional. I didn't even realize I needed that either. Didn't realize I wanted that. And then I found Brandon Gazaway. I didn't even know the guy for a hole in the ground when I first met him. But after talking with him and seeing what his mindset was like and just how this guy takes life. You've heard of taking the bull by the horns. This dude takes life by the fucking balls and swings it around like a baseball bat and makes it his bitch. And he loves it. He loves his life. He is happy. I'm not going to say he's happy all the time. He goes through struggles like the rest of us. But this dude showed me that to really get what you want, you have to be intensely intentional in going after it. Don't just walk towards something, damn it. Run full fucking speed, eyes closed, head down, face first into whatever the hell it is you're going after. Because that's how you're going to get it. And a couple others, they've helped me figure out processes and strategies as far as, business and, branding and things like that go. And that, Carmen and Sid, they have done wonders for me as far as showing me that you can't just, say you're going to do it and then try to do it and then, well, that way didn't work. And then you try the same damn way again expecting a different result, because that's the fucking result. That's the definition of insanity. You can't do stupid shit like that. But you know what? That's their game. That's their deal, is they do processes and strategies. Carmen's very, 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 very passionate about, processes and strategies. And Sid, he's just so damn creative all the time that he comes up with a new damn way to do something every time I look at him, every time I talk to him. He might be doing the same exact thing, but he's doing it in a different way. Every time. Because that's his superpower. That's what he's good at. And when I was first getting started, before I even got started, I needed somebody to kind of give me that kick in the ass. To instill in me that drive. To instill in me that, whatever it is that finally gets you over that first fear hump. My boy Trey Carmichael and my boy Cody Rain, they were the ones that really kicked that into my head, that you ain't gotta start out being perfect. You don't gotta start out being absolutely the most magnificent fucking thing ever. Just start. Get started. Just do it. So what if you fail? So what if you fuck up? You're gonna fuck up. Your first few things you try to do are gonna suck. I'll tell you right now, my first podcast episode was fucking terrible. My first fucking YouTube video that I ever made was fucking terrible. God, they sucked. But you know what? I never would have done them if it hadn't been for Trey and Cody. They gave me that feeling of belief that, if I could just get started, if I would just take that first step, that the world would open up to me. And it has. And these are just a few of my family of choice members. These are a few of my village that I, love and depend on and rely on. And, I try to be there for them as much as I can. Because I would do anything for these people. They're just like my family. No, I don't see them every day. No, I don't even talk to them every day. We go for weeks at a time. We may not say anything to each other. We might just like each other's Facebook posts or some shit like that. But these cats, I don't know where I'd be without them. Yeah, dude, I'd be back at fucking where I was before I started this whole fucking journey. I'd be sitting there, jerking off stale fish in a fucking warehouse or some stupid shit. I don't know. But I'm telling you right now, y'all, you need you a family of choice. And you need to make your family of choice one of the strongest core values rely on. And that's part of why I've saved this for, the very last episode. Because it really is the most important. Without a family of choice that's there to back you, that's there to support you, that's there to help you grow, and that wants to see you succeed just as much as they want to succeed themselves, then you're doomed from the start. You can't do this. This journey is not made alone. It shouldn't be made alone. Find you a tribe that is willing to go all in for you, and then be willing to go all in for them too. That's it for me today, guys. I hope y'all have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, as it's Friday when I'm recording this episode. And no matter what you do, no matter where you're at in life, always, always remember, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. You can do it. I believe in you.